Whoa. Why is it dead up here?
You're good. You're on.
All right, we're back, guys. Sorry about that. We had a bit of OBS issues. We are live in studio with Baby Dick and Rigby talking about the most recent run in the WSOP main event. I believe we left off discussing a bit of back and forth that he was having with Chance prior to the Ace King Aces hand. So, getting back into that story discussion, I believe you left off with he just got moved to your table.
Yeah, it's just Chance comes in with piles of chips, and very similar to what he had done to me at the last table. I just look at him, I say, "Oh, perfect, I get to steal your big blind. This is going to be a good time. Like, we're going to have some fun." And I asked him how many chips he had. He counted them, 3.2 and change. I said, "Oh, perfect, I have 3.4. I can bust your ass." We have a laugh, and then, I look down at aces, and it's on. Like, it was, like, right after that, which is sick. And I decided to open up at, like, 3.5x. Chance's range there of 3-betting me is humongous. And I just told myself, if I rip here, like, I'm getting called by so many hands because it just doesn't make sense. So I decided to just rip my stack right there, and it took him about 0.6 seconds to call. He just looks and says, "Call." And it's just like a dream spot in the World Series of Maine, World Series of Poker.
World Series of Rigby.
Yeah, World Series of Rigby, WSOR.
So, you had your reasons for jamming aces in that spot, and it kind of is what it is. In all honesty, in practice, in reality, now that it's all said and done, is there other hands, or are there other hands that you're jamming in that spot? I mean, obviously, if you have kings, you're thinking the same thing, right? Like, I'm going to get paid.
Very similar, yeah. I mean, I'm like treading a little bit more lightly because, I mean, you don't have aces, but kings probably same hand. And, like, if he has aces, then, button versus big, it's just like I'm puking instead of him.
Right.
But,
what about, like, if you had ace king or something like that?
I think.
I'm thinking ace queen.
Ace king like that.
Ace king,
honestly, I'm probably, like, min-clicking back, which apparently I'll have to, like, take that out of my toolbox because I did it with the the older Asian gentleman to my left the other evening, and I found the fold where he had aces.
Big fold.
I mean, I don't want to give away too many secrets, but
I guess more so the question is, like, are you jamming 3-deuce off there?
No, as much as I would love to. Like, Chance is such a solid player, and I think, like, I mean, I could, maybe he thought that was in my range there, like,
yeah,
like I want to just doink that off his head like I did the 7-deuce earlier. Like,
I think a lot of people who are speculating over the spot were of the assumption that, like, you have a jam range that's pre-constructed there, and I basically said, like, I think it's just aces and kings, and I think it's just a byproduct of how big the moment is, how deep you guys are, and just, like, kind of. I don't want to like overly speculate based off of what you were thinking in real time, but, like, I've been in these spots earlier in my career, and this is your third main event, so it's relatively early, and there's a certain subconscious underlying fear that you may not even acknowledge ever, really, in the moment, out of the moment, whatever, but, like, there's a certain sense of anxiety of, like, I don't want to bust this event in a shitty spot, so
which I did.
Right, but at least you were short at that point. So my whole point is, like, we kind of want to take the decision out of our hands. It's just like, I have aces. Aces is the best hand. All in. And now I have no more decisions to make. Like, I just put all of my money in as good as humanly possible, and that's life.
Dicks on the table, let the cards fall.
Right. And the thing is that, like, if that ends up being true, if that's, like, what your subconscious was telling you in that moment, and that is really what your jam range results in, Chance is fucking lighting it, and there's just no way for him to know that, because if you're ever jamming jacks or ace king as well, it's an auto call. He's just making so much money by calling.
Yeah.
But, like, if those hands aren't in there, he may as well have just, like, not entered the main, because now all of a sudden he's going to put himself in a spot where he has, like, 20% equity on average, assuming that you even have kings in that spot.
I think jacks are really good the flat right there against him, especially with, like, what we had going on between us.
Yeah.
It's just, it would be a sneaky hand there, and hopefully I flop well. Honestly, I'm not going to rip jacks there for sure.
Yeah, that was kind of my watching along as a viewer. You didn't get that out of line when it came to aggression pre-flop. You got out of line post. You're fucking around.
You want to tell him, baby, or should I? We've been talking about it for years.
I think this
tell
also,
him what the PFA is.
Post-flop advantage. But also, you're looking at it as Chance potentially losing those money chips. He's also looking at it as, like, when will I have another opportunity to play a 6 million chip pot. And
Right.
Chance with that many chips at that stage of the tournament and how good he is.
And he's dangerous too,
Well,
right?
and in direct position
And so-
on you too.
Yeah.
I think it's as
you
simple
just eliminated
as
that right there.
the fact that he took half a second. It's what do we say? You can't scare a whore with a big dick. He has ace king suited. It's that simple, and that's what took him half a second. I have ace king suited versus this human. Look at this human
I
right now.
built this image
He's
up over the
not-
last 3 years
Right.
for that
Right.
call.
He's not fooled. And so
That's true.
one
I
thing
didn't
I
know
love
that they
about
said
Chance,
that, by the way. But now you learn something new every day.
one thing I love about Chance is he did it like it was that simple. I'm not folding this hand,
Yeah,
big
of
blind
course,
versus button
of course,
versus him.
of course.
So it takes half a second. He didn't waste time.
No
He's just like,
Hollywood
yeah.
Scotty
And so
did.
I think that's the other thing he's thinking. Like, if I win this hand, then I don't know what the chip leader had at that point, or
Less
where
than that.
where that would have put him.
It was chip
But
lead
you
for
put
sure.
Chance, chip leader.
I'm
in that
pretty
spot,
sure Chance
then-
and Rigby were like both top 4 at the time.
It
So
was a big
imagine
pot.
how dangerous Chance would be at that spot. And so,
Well, speaking of dangerous, after that hand, you had over 200 big blinds. What happened?
At the time, Bill Klein was still at the table.
Yeah, he fucked on you good.
Yeah. I literally slapped my arm down. I said, Bill, you just put your billionaire, like I said, $1 billion member because I wanted it to make
Right.
the stream.
You guys have a lot of infatuation with penises. I'm noticing this.
These are your people.
It is true.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
are your people.
Pittsburgh is the city
Yeah.
of strong arms and swinging hogs. Like,
I was on a different stream earlier, and like we were watching Franco play a little bit. Like, does he have any nicknames or anything? And I was like,
I was watching,
the
yeah.
hog.
Right, yeah, sure.
You can say
Why
it
is
was
the
on
hog?
High
I'm
Noon, yeah, it
like,
was
you
good.
figure it out.
I did see you did a sideline interview with Jeff Platt after you busted, showing a little support to Franco, who did go a little bit deeper. He made it early into today, I believe.
Yeah.
what's his 44th? I think.
44th. So yeah, I think. Do you have that interview up there, Guapo?
I sure do.
All right, let's roll it.
The Reaper, Jeff Platt.
As the night is winding down, I thought I'd just kind of check with the rail, get a feel for everything going on, see who everybody's rooting for. Start with you. Who are you rooting for?
Dan Wyman.
Okay. Next up.
Frank.
Frank. Okay. You, who are you rooting for?
Franco Bonacci.
Okay. Sounds good. Nicholas Rigby on the rail, rooting for Mr. Bonacci. What can he do to get this done?
Remain stoic and play his position. Get it done.
What advice have you had for him?
Grab your lunch pail, put it in your hard hat, and use that Pittsburgh mentality to get it done.
Let's go to work.
Get to work.
What have these last few hours been like for you as you've recovered from your bust out?
It felt like someone, punched me in the gut.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get over it. You sit there and grind slots for a couple hours, have some high noons, and just kind of let it all float away, right?
You didn't punt it all off, did you, at slots?
That little leprechaun took a couple thousand off me, but we'll get it back.
Okay, we'll be fine.
Which I don't know if you have the tweet, but we did get that
I
little
saw it.
leprechaun
We
back.
got scumbag.
Yeah, I don't know if you can show that, but we
I
got that.
thought you were talking about baby dick. I assumed you just reached in your pocket and took a few thousand. I love the advice you gave to Franco. Throw on your hard hat, take your lunch pail, and get
Get
to
to
work.
work, yeah.
Gotta
That is the
respect
Pittsburgh
it.
mentality.
Time to get down the
for
brass
sure.
tacks.
That's
Yep.
right. That's right. So walk me through then why you were giving this interview instead of a winner's interview after you had 200 big blinds in the main event.
Honestly, like right after the hand with Chance, and going back to the Chance hand, like I can appreciate like the guy wants to get first. He
Yeah.
wants the bracelet. Like
Yeah.
no one wants to get like 18th. Yeah, 18th's a nice consolation prize, but like I'm playing to win. Like if you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby mentality. Like I'm playing for the bracelet, so I'm doing that at all times. So unfortunately, after that, I got into like a string of coolers, got spewy in some spots, and like next thing you know, like
You were a little chip drunk.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you were a little chip drunk. I saw
Winner
a
still.
couple of hands. All right, the 4-3 off. That
I
was,
love that squeeze.
come on, bro.
That dude
I
folded
get king
king queen.
queens.
How does
That's
that
insane.
happen?
That's insane.
The fact
That actually
didn't
makes him
work,
look
Yeah.
like a
and I run
genius.
into a
Yeah.
fucking gazillionaire in that
Well,
last one.
the problem is the gazillionaire only has twice as many chips as you put out for the Rays.
He can fold in that spot for sure. I mean, any other player other than Bill
Honestly,
Klein
if
probably
you
does.
if you had any semblance of equity, I would just be here saying like, okay, I get it.
Oh no, it's just a pure bluff squeeze. Let's
go,
if
dude.
he's gonna put it in there, then why didn't he just rip?
Well, because
there's a lot of talk.
Because there was two players who've been playing like reasonable human beings that invested money in the pot, and then here comes old Rigby with the fucking wrecking ball, and now it folds back to him, and he just goes, "Hey, you know what? Maybe this guy's full of shit."
What's funny is
pretty sick.
even our other buddies. So our buddy Patsy, who's
Oh my god,
Patsy, what's up, Patsy?
That's the first underground game I ever played.
When you
so,
were-
in
on
his
my rail the
fucking
whole
pizza
time.
shop.
Right, when you guys were like spot, like we were
out there- we were out there Manessing.
Yeah, first thing I thought was Patsy in the Manessing game.
so
Yeah.
you're like this.
Lamanna got paid in $5 bills by one guy.
Yeah, I did. I got like $2,000 in $5 bills. I didn't ask where they came from. They spent. They were
Honestly,
wait, at that game you got paid in fives?
Yeah.
This was like 20 years ago.
You know what's really
15 years
interesting
ago.
is when I was younger, Patsy used to never spend $5 bills. And any five he'd get, he would save them for his kids.
Oh.
Put them aside. I don't know if he ever dug into them, but that was like his
Yeah,
thing.
he did. He
Pretty
dug,
smart.
he dug into
And
them
then, like,
to
you're
pay
telling me
me
he
when I
paid
wrecked
you.
the
My mind's
game.
blown.
No. There was a guy who robbed a convenience store that came and paid
That's
Lamanna.
probably most likely what happened.
That's 99% what happened. Go ahead.
Well, what I was gonna say. So it was when he was at the feature with Helmuth on day 2, I think, and
Got him
it's
good.
early in the day, and I believe it was that. It might have been a different table, but there's a hand earlier in the day where Riggs is in position and he double barrels queen like 4-4-9-9 board, and River goes check, and Patsy was telling me, he's like, yeah, I had to talk with him on the way over here, told him like, hey, but like, give the pep talk on how to play. And so that hand plays out queen 4-4-9-9. He double barrels, checks River, and the guy flips over jacks and wins. Patsy immediately shakes his head. If he jams, I think he gets him off that. And I'm like, Pats, we just had a talk about how you told Riggs to like, try and gear down.
Yeah.
And then like it immediately hits him. He's like, you're right. I gotta stop. And it's like, so that's why I try and tell him like that you get the actual player out there playing, and he can't help himself,
Yeah.
all the time.
I
And
mean,
here you are on the rail, and you just want him to blast off
Well, I
every
mean, look,
time.
here's the thing. You can play good theoretical poker or you can take it to the streets. And I think a lot of what works for you is the fact that it's the main fucking event and people care about that.
Taking it to the streets in the main event is a good strategy.
Oh, what the fuck do you know about
I was
that?
just gonna say,
I'm not saying that I take it to the streets. I
thought Mr. Wu was sitting over there for a
I limp
second.
my way into the money every time, but no.
But you can recognize game.
Recognized game. When you play in the streets, you run up, chip leader after day 1, day 2, 6 million chips. Like that.
Look,
That's how you do it.
If I'm picking somebody for Team Rocket for Crossbook versus Crossbook, you're on the team.
Thank
There
you.
you
You
go.
made the list.
Yeah.
I did play one street hand. This is the only
Oh,
one
the
that
rest were theoretically sound, baby.
listen.
This is a good hand history right
I
here.
play way different than Gers. in
That
this
I
event.
believe. That I believe.
So it was when I was at the side feature table, and our table had been playing together for a few hours now, and it's at the 30K big blind level, and Mr. WPT Dunst opened 65K. This dude from Canada, like he got the pool shirt on, like he don't give a damn. He calls, and then somebody calls late position. So I'm watching this. I'm like, all right, I think this will be a good squeeze spot. If I get a resemblance of a hand, I'm gonna go for it. I'm in small blind. I get 5-6 suited.
A resemblance?
I make it 365K. Dunce folds, which was like the only one I'm worried about. And then
Yeah.
the dude from Canada, like snap calls. And I know he can just have anything here, right?
Dick on a stick. Go ahead and say it.
absolutely. Yeah.
Another penis innuendo.
yeah.
He's got dick on a stick.
So I'm like, all right, I got 5-6 suited. Like I can hit a flop here, get some
Yeah,
flop impregnation and like get some chips.
Right.
It comes king,
Right.
queen, jack, rainbow. Well, of course, 3-bet the small blind. I got a c-bet here. There's like 900K in the pot. I bet 185,000. And this dude immediately he just shoots out a bunch of chips, and he's like, I raise. And then before he even says what he's raising to, obviously I got 6 high, dick on a stick, I fold.
cards were gone.
And then he's like, I knew you had nothing. And he rockets over the 7-6 suited.
It is
And,
the fucking main event. It's so great.
and it's just one of those spots where someone,
Jack,
decides to button
queen.
click and happens to be right and looks like a total genius. Now, I made the correct fold. I was behind.
Right. Excellent
Like,
laydown.
so often
baby.
here, this guy is just folding, and I obviously win like a great pot,
Yeah.
and then that had me down to like 20 bigs or whatever it was.
You guys
I'm
are
just
playing a
like,
different tournament than what I experienced.
Did you know, Landon? You were
I gotta
only in
tell
there
you.
for 45 minutes.
I have to tell
I
you,
got D. Peters, Alti.
what they're talking about is a lot more of my first 15 main event experiences
Yeah,
and a lot
for sure.
less of my last 3 or 4.
Taking it to the streets.
Yeah, man. I got to get back to my roots. My roots were built for the main event.
The main event is good for the streets, man.
Me now, I'm old and like trying to keep up appearances and play like the kids. It's a mistake. It's just a mistake. I got to be in there with the Jack 9-0 from middle position in a 3-bet pot, you know?
I've seen no streets played.
Yeah. Yeah, you get tough draws.
I've seen no streets.
Very unlucky. Honestly, it's good for you. You get draws where everybody plays like you play. So you get to, you get the cat jamming with the ace-5.
Nah, I want the streets. Bring the streets back.
Bring the
I belong to the
streets.
streets now.
During that
Belong to the
downswing too, it
streets.
just put the hand history popped in my head. We get
Here we go. Yes.
we get like the billboard for DraftKings coming in.
I saw that
you have
guy.
a live hand, and like he sits like he's a hand waiting for him. He gets to the main event or the main feature table. Hey boys, how's it going? And he just rips like 18 bigs or something. And like I look down at ace queen in the big blind,
Yeah.
and like
Let's
I'm
go.
sitting on a stack. Let's go. He's just got 10 in the window. I mean,
Yeah. You got to win those.
I mean, my flow chart is obviously insane already, but like I just went on a huge downswing after that. So
Sure. As you will in MTTs. Talk me through this ace-7 hand on the river where you tank for 6 minutes and get the clock called.
that was against the same guy. So I mean, he opened.
the
I think
clown. Say who it is.
no, he didn't. No, we were cool. No beef.
Oh,
no beef
not
with the
first
DraftKings dude. He's cool.
We'll get to the clown.
Shout out Jacob Sachs. I bullshit with him last night too. Cool dude from out in New Jersey. He opened. I mean, his range is huge. I think he was in the hijack in that spot. And folds around the main. Like I defend with ace-7 of
Ace-7
clubs.
suited, yeah.
Yeah, ace-7 of clubs. I check to him. He c-bets. I call. Turns a 10 of hearts.
Board
Like
doesn't matter.
I don't remember the exact board. It was like
It was
king,
like
it was like
something
king
4
XX.
deuce.
It was like king XX. Yeah, it was like king 4 deuce.
King 4 deuce or king 5 deuce. He
Or
had,
no,
ace,
it was-
he
no,
had
it was-
ace 3, right?
It was king deuce 5.
Okay, yeah.
King deuce 5, 1 heart.
Yeah.
And it checks. He c-bets. I decided to call. The turn's a 10 of hearts. I mean,
Check.
in my opinion, that's like a pretty wet turn. Just like a lot of. I don't
Good
know.
for his range, for sure.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if he has something, like if he connects, I think he continues his line there betting.
Probably,
So
yeah.
I check and he checks behind.
Yep.
And then the river is the 4.
Right.
So in my head, I'm thinking about check calling. There's just a ton of bluffs there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes through my head very quickly that he could have like ace X suited, ace 9 that I'm actually behind. So like I don't want
Right.
to check call. So I lead out like super heavy for 500,000. He like rips it. So I legitimately was tanking. And for the record, like I'm one of the fastest moving players in the tournament. Not only that, I'm up against being on the feature table every day. Like cut me a fucking break.
Yeah.
And there's 2 minutes left on the clock before dinner. And this clown wants to call fucking clock on me.
Clown.
Okay.
Clown FC.
Okay. Interesting.
Clown.
Where was he at in relation to the button?
Middle position. Like there was nothing being affected.
Interesting. Yeah, I would think the person that would clock you would be the under the gun player, because they want to play the smaller blinds.
Right. They
Well,
want, yeah.
It was a spike call on clock because I played him like a fiddle with trip aces about 8 hands prior, where he had kings and I had something similar like ace 7. He opened kings on the button. I defend. I flop an ace. I let into him. He calls, turns an ace, and I check. I think it might have gone check, and then I just like barrel river. Like he's never folding kings there. He called, and
Sure.
obviously I have trip aces.
Yeah.
And it was just he was just sour about that. It's 100%.
It's funny because like almost the exact same thing happened to Chance, right? Didn't he like owned some guy in the hand?
Well, they were
That's what he
actually
said?
on dinner break.
And they were, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They were on dinner break, and he called the clock on him. Guy wasn't even in the hand, which is just shitty.
I just think calling the
Wow.
clock in the main, like later, like what was it, day 5, day 6? What was it?
Day 5.
And then for
five,
someone's
yeah.
tournament life, and like you said, you typically you usually play very fast.
Which should allow you
And I don't.
time
So
to
whenever
think when
somebody,
you need to. Yeah.
and whenever I see like someone jam a river or whatever, and the person who it's on them, and they just kind of give the sigh, and I know it's going to be forever. I just get up.
Well,
Me personally, unless they were a chronic tanker, I'm never calling the clock.
Right.
The only time
funny.
I would call the clock is if I can tell it would help them to have the clock called
Sure,
on them
sure,
because
sure.
they're just running the same thoughts over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And nothing, they're just repeating.
Not getting any
their
thought
thought
I would
pattern.
be very quick to call the clock in this particular situation, but maybe less so on Rigby, just because I don't think that like he has a pre-planned out strategy that like, you know, he's just checking boxes whenever he's making decisions, right?
There's 2 minutes to dinner, though.
Yeah, but like, you know, if this is
So at most you're getting one hand, like.
yeah, I mean, I get it,
One
but
extra
like,
hand.
I still, well, especially like if I'm under the gun or something like that, like I want to keep it moving. But you know, what I'm getting at is like if this is a professional that I know that they just have their strategy and the spot probably just isn't nearly as tough as it appears, then I'm probably gonna clock them. But like for anybody that leans towards the side of just like freestyling or playing a lot more street poker, I'm gonna let them feel it out. You know, do your thing, like go nuts. I'll probably give you the
I
benefit
was
of the doubt
legitimately
there.
sitting there thinking about calling for my main event life with ace high.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, I heard like the commentation stuff, and I was telling like Jaffe earlier, I'm like, I was legitimately thinking about calling with ace high. Like, I know a lot of people were like, why is he tank stalling until dinner? Like, what? There's zero advantage. I was legitimately thinking about that.
It's
Yeah.
a weird thing in the sense of like, let's say not this particular situation, but if someone else has like a ton of chips, and when the level does change and you only play a certain amount of hands in a level, it does reduce the amount of big blinds in play, where people then that are short can have more rejam spots, where it's a lot more effective for a good player with a ton of chips to have those amount of big blinds. So it's hard to kind of find the in between, is like how much time is available or allowed. Some spots are obviously different, right? Someone plays really fast anyways, but there's definitely a conversation as to like how long it
this would
should
have been
be.
the difference of one hand.
Right.
Yeah.
There's obviously instances in where it's like you take 8 minutes in between a
Right.
level that's
Yeah,
2 hours,
right.
where it's like no one's going anywhere. At some point, you have to take a stand, because if no one ever calls clock, it actually benefits everybody else at the table, because people are busting left and right at these payouts.
I would say let's reverse it. That clown is in the spot. He calls clock.
Sure.
Hey, Miguel, you go. You don't think he's doing that?
Yeah,
so
probably.
I mean,
Look,
I
I'm
would
not-
guarantee
I'm not
he
justifying
would.
it.
You know,
I'm not justifying it. I just think that even though it's the main event, there becomes a line where like too much time, or like there's a certain amount of time that feels like it's too much time. 6 minutes is probably teetering on it.
I was meandering around the like the 5 tables left today, and there was a big hand that I guess got like 6-bet pre-flop. I don't know the
Yeah, I saw that.
the guys put the players' names in the hand.
Bro,
But, like,
5-bet
the
folded.
Circle Beard's like over near the rail, and I'm watching the hand, and Circle Beard's just like in socks, and he's like, I call the clock here, and I was like, just don't be that fucking guy.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that fucking guy.
It's
either.
tough. It's tough because the main event has such long levels. That's kind of the biggest aspect as to why like calling the clock is not necessary, because there's just infinite time before the blinds are actually raised. You know.
There's infinite time, but there's also the amount of hands played per level.
Yeah, when you're talking about strategies, like when people are using the clock to their advantage strategically, then yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I noticed another thing. People didn't want to be quote unquote that guy. All in a call. First person flips their hand over. The person who called mucks their hand.
Oh yeah, it's
And
supposed to be showed.
It's supposed to be showed.
Yeah.
And there was a hand I played where it was the second time. This was on day 5. It was the second time the player to my right open limped the button, and then they play the hand out to the river, and it's an all in and a call. And obviously, I would really want to see what this dude's open limping the button with in my small blind.
Of course.
And I found myself, usually I really don't give a damn, but he lost like a huge pot and was crippled. And I found myself, I don't want to tell the dealer to
needle
flip
him.
that hand over.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping someone else speaks up or something.
Yeah.
It's funny you
And-
say that, because like I was in a big spot where I had 6-9 off
Sure.
in position.
Nice.
Classic 3-bet, he flats.
Classic.
The classic.
Standard.
It is
and
classic.
flops king 5-7. And
We got equity.
yeah.
Yeah, got her.
So he checks to me, and I continue with my line, I bet, and he flats. And I'm just like, just put, like a black 8 at one time, because there was a diamond draw out there. And these big dealers' hands come down. I see like two points of clubs. I'm like, yep, that's an 8. So I binked the gunner.
WSOR.
Your main event run in one hand. Go.
So he checks to me. I actually check behind, and the river's.
Oh yeah, sure. We make our hand. Let's fucking
Sneak
not
attack.
Sneak attack.
You got to
no
mix
money.
it up. A lot of
Right,
times,
right.
I'm barreling. You just never know what I have, and that's the
Oh,
whole
yeah,
point
hey,
of poker.
here we
right?
are.
He's a man of mystery.
Randomizer.
The river's
you
a
know?
7. It pairs the board. He checks to me. I overbomb the pot for like 1.6x.
What's he got?
And it leaves like 30,000 left with him, and I'm just like, he probably got ace king, and he's just like, fuck this guy. He sat there for a legitimate like 9.5 minutes, and like I said, I'm never calling clock on anyone, remaining stoic, staring him down. And some other guy at the table called clock. So the tournament director came over and everything, And there was a huge question: can someone call clock that's not in the hand? Obviously, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
So that was like a discussion. So then tournament director walks away, and clock's called. He's got 30 seconds. He ends up making the call. He gets the bad news. And then he kind of like, I wasn't his biggest fan in the past 2 hours. So I said, "Oh, what did he have? I'd like to see it." And apparently, he doesn't have to show it.
Correct.
So, which I didn't know. I guess you have to be all in.
All in.
Right.
All in or call, both hands have to be shown.
That's
it wasn't all in.
definitely true.
He still had some
So
left.
that's definitely true, but I'm pretty sure even if somebody calls, you are allowed to see their hand to show.
They got rid of that rule.
They got rid of that rule
like 10 years ago.
So now the tournament director's got to do a U-turn, come back, and like she's like, "Who's asking to see the hand?" I said, "I am. I'm the one that he called me." She's like, "Was there an all in?" Like, no, he still has chips. Like there wasn't. He's like, "Oh well, he doesn't have to show it then." And I'm just like, whatever. I'm not going to be that fucking guy. But like, I was genuinely curious. He's still in the tournament, and I really wanted to know what he had there and what he's wasting our time with.
Sure.
So as this is going on, the dealer attempted to deal the next hand. And I looked down at like the 2 of spades. Obviously, I'm rooting in like the 3 of diamonds to come along with it. And some guy who I saw was still in today, like fires out a bet at like 11K, which is the time I think the blinds were
3-5.
Yeah. So, and like I looked down and I'm like, I only have 1 card. And then I look like I thought we'd all already got 1. Everyone has 2 besides me. Tournament director, U-turn. I'm like, I only have 1 card. Well, there's action. You're like, you just don't get to play this hand. I'm like, okay. And what's really funny is the guy that like Min clicked up from under the gun +1 had like ace-3 of diamonds. So obviously I just don't get to play the hand. Same guy that just like dicked around for 5 minutes on the clock. He calls out of the blinds with 10-5 offsuit, makes 2 pair. That dude makes a flush like shower time.
Oh,
like
no.
just like the domino effect there is just absolutely great.
That is wild.
Just like the little mini storylines you like.
You might be Neo when it's all said and done. you just might be in control of the poker matrix.
Keanu Gersby, I've been called.
Yeah. Well, I think we need to get to the bottom of who's playing the role of why can't I think of his name now? Morpheus. Yeah. Who's in this role here? Maybe it's Dankness.
That's Patsy.
No, it's not Patsy. I'm certain of that. It might be Dankness. Maybe that's what Jaffe's job is.
What is what is the nickname Gers?
Me.
Yeah, like
origins, please.
Yeah. Like where does this come from?
It's just something my buddies came up with, just like a play on Rigby.
What?
I think the great Gersby, and then
yeah, it's just like I don't know.
Okay.
Where's
The great one, the great Gersby.
You guys have. You know what? I'm coming to the conclusion. You all have way too much fucking time on your hands.
I thought it was funny too. At one point,
there was a
it was on
story
day
here.
1. I went over to check on the big guy here. He had like a decent stack. I was like, "Were you ever, down low at all?" He's like, like 45K or so. At this point, he's sitting on like 160. That's when I went to get him, and Scotty win a beer. I come back, he's got, a lot more. He's like, yeah. I 3-bet the cutoff with 6-3 offsuit versus 2 people. Came
flopped 3 threes and just fucking took him to the woodshed.
8-3-3-4.
Maybe text me this hand.
Yeah, and then that's when I'm like, and someone made the point, like 3-6 off is one of your stronger threes.
Right.
And so,
You gotta 3-bet it.
And then what ensues in like the next 10 minutes is just utter chaos. You got like Randall Emmett at the table right next to me. I just have to fucking hear his loud like voice the whole time. Then Scotty gets over there and like I'm his #1 fan. I love it. So now he's louder than Emmett. And I'm just loving it. And like I'd already gotten a video with Scotty as he's like late regging. And like I jumped out of my seat for the first time all day. I was like, I gotta get a video. They got by your cameos all the time. And Baby Dick sees him. He's like, we gotta get an arm lock with Scotty. And like he's drinking Heineken. Will you drink a Heineken? I said, I hate Heineken, but like I'll drink one with Scotty if that's what Scotty's drinking. So he gets these beers. Now I'm up out of my seat, like I'm missing hands. We're over there trying to interlock with Scotty. He's trying to play the tournament, and then like he's like, "What?" Like he's drinking 0.0 Heineken. Surgery. He's not even supposed to be drinking. Like, Big Dan that's running around with like the Louis Vuitton merch. He's like, he's like, Rigby, you're having a fucking party this tournament. Like, just
That's amazing.
You really.
oh, here we go.
Baby Dick and the great Gersby.
Yeah.
I have the message from your boy Nick, Poker Palace. They told me you guys gonna come out to play the main event at the World Series, baby. It's nothing like be in the main event, baby. That's the life changing. You know what I mean? When you play, make sure you both stay stoic and you the dirty diver to punish your opponent, baby. All right, baby, and you make sure you tell all the player fear what they don't understand, and grow it or blow it, baby. And I wish you both good luck at the World Series, the main event. Hopefully we run into each other. Make sure you come up and say hello to me, all right, baby? And then let's do good to get together, and then we have a drink to celebrate, all right? Met your boy Nick, and then Poker Palace, so proud of you both, all right, baby? All right, take care and good luck.
That is Scotty Nguyen at his finest right there. Big Rigby fan.
Absolute legend. I hope he's a fan of me. I'm his #1 fan. Like we buy those cameos for our buddies all the time. Our buddy Big Dan won a slot tournament out here. He's on his slot grind.
Sure.
Got a big golden record from Resorts World, and what did I have to do? Get him a Scotty cameo. Congratulate him on the big win. You're a true slot grinder.
Incredible.
Jack, who we brought up before, I think Dan's bought him one before.
I mean, you guys are really just out here living the fucking dream, huh?
Just having a party. Oh, there's me. Yeah, there's me, baby, and Chance.
Was that after or before?
That was last year.
No, that was
years
last
ago,
year.
Right? Or last year.
Which I think Chance was drinking. I'm not sure. He said he's been sober for like 11 months, which is awesome. But me and the little guy were definitely out there drinking.
You and the little guy.
Oh, it's the night I got my DUI.
That is DUI night.
Yeah.
Never set foot inside that casino again.
He's probably so proud.
It was the casino's fault for sure.
But yeah, like even just like small banner and stuff throughout the tournament, like going back to like the simulation theory. Brent Hanks comes over with like the Poker Go guys, and they're coming over. I'm sitting at the table, and this was on the start of day 3. Like Kevin Pollock's right behind me, and like I'm not gonna go. He's playing. I'm not gonna say anything. Brent Hanks says, "Oh, we got our celebrity over here," and like Kevin Pollock turns around like give an interview, and I just snip him. I turn around, I'm like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" Oh, you're not talking about me. I was like, I thought I was a celebrity this tournament. And, like Kevin starts laughing. And he turns around. I was like, holy shit, you're the guy from House Arrest. And he says, really? He's like, House Arrest?
I know him from Belkey.
He's like, really? House Arrest? That's what you're gonna bring up as House Arrest? And I said, oh, you're very fortunate. You were married to Jamie Lee Curtis in the movie. He's like, yeah, I got to make out with her too. And like, Poker Go's getting this whole banter. It's great.
That's
it's great footage, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'd give up this whole stack right now to make out with Jamie Lee right now. And back then for sure. But like, currently I would too probably.
Now she eats the poop yogurt.
Activia.
Oh man, you guys are fucking right. Honestly, like
what's going on here?
I don't know
So
how
much.
we can highlight more of
So
the
good.
Rigbys of the world, but I will say I greatly appreciate what you bring to the table.
Non-TV tables too. I also sat with Ryan Garcia, chummed it up with him.
Nice.
I think you have a picture of that as well. But yeah, we were kind of bantering back and forth. I think he mentioned getting like coached by Ferrajaka, and I was like, no.
I like
Ferrajaka.
That's how I always say it in my head. So, and I'm like, no, I'll coach you, buddy.
Close enough.
I was like, I'll coach you. I like to come out and watch you fight. And as like I'm having this banner, I think I was 4 for 5 while I'm stacking my chips and table moves on those pots. I'd always play the first hand. First hand at that table, I'd pocket deuces. And like I go to squeeze, I get called in 2 spots. Flops like 9 high. I see bet, call. Turn was a 10. I check raised. I check raised the under the gun player. River's a deuce. I rip, he snaps. I show deuces, and they're like, holy shit, what the fuck's going on here?
It's really a fucking tale of two cities here. I fucking turn a boat and I'm out, and this guy fucking
By
finds
the
a
way,
check there.
Rigby's the guy that you're telling every bad beat story about.
Oh yeah, I mean like there was like
this fucking
celebrations
guy
in the
comes to
street
my
when that
table.
queen hit the river.
He's the guy that you run kings into his aces, and you just can't fucking believe it because of all the hands that he's shown down prior to that point. You're just like, how could he have aces versus me? This is the man.
At the end of the day 3, I was a little actually frustrated that we weren't playing to the money, but we were going hand for hand, and we're not playing to the money. And I sat down first hand, I get 8s, I open big, he folds around, don't show it. Next hand, I get like king jack, I open, one guy calls, c bet, he folds. Then we have like the under the gun +2, 8-2 of hearts.
Sure.
Yeah, we're gonna open
We're
again.
bubble time, baby.
We're gonna
Let's
open
go.
again.
Yeah.
The monster stack that was like probably 5th in chips at the time to like me being near the top. He calls. Flop is 6-7-9 with 1 heart.
Okay.
You know, we flop
Go
well.
time.
What
Yeah.
else can we ask for?
The world.
What else can we ask for? We overbet the pot on the flop.
Right.
We get called.
As one does.
All right.
Turns the off 10.
Okay, sure.
We check. He makes a sizable bet. I just flat.
Yeah, well, we only have the second nuts.
Hood
Yeah.
flat, hood flat.
Very big hood flat here.
Yeah, hood flat.
River's a deuce.
Right. Good. We block.
I bet 2.5x pot, and everyone in the everyone in the ballroom comes around our table. Richard Seymour's at this party. Like I got to play with everyone. And, hey Seymour, what's up? Like it's just like
You're a traveling man.
the tournament of Rigby. Yeah, all the
just on his
celebrities.
fucking
Just,
celeb tour.
yeah, it's just hey, how's it going,
The
everybody?
Magic Mystery Tour.
And this guy in that spot tanked for 8 minutes. Like people are like leaning over the rail. Like what the hell's going on here? He ends up telling me like he had queen high, and he was really thinking about just ripping ripping my face off.
Oh,
no,
you just said queen jack?
Yeah, he was coming back over the top. He had queen jack.
Yeah.
Which would have been great. Like he's getting snapped, obviously, and like he ends up folding, and like I just flip over like 2 of clubs and like flick it in his face, and like the crowd's just going like nuts. Like what a fucking monster! Like,
Incredible. Honestly, like what a fucking party, man.
What I would love to say about this is
amazing.
It confirms everything I thought about what happens in the main event when it comes to getting chips.
Yeah.
You just spike it, get everybody out.
Yeah.
You know, some people, they get all the chips and they make big hands. You're one of those people.
Yeah.
2x
Big hand
pots,
Rigby.
yeah.
Big
2x
hand
pot,
Rigby.
Rivers and people are snapping because they're so frustrated.
You are.
Deuce River is so inconsequential in the Deuce's hand.
He's the East Coast airball.
Gone.
That's,
No, the difference between he and airball is he's cool.
Is that a heads up challenge? My man
he's
here?
not dumb enough to fucking call me a scammer and try to play me heads up for $1 million, but you know.
Oh, he might.
I don't know.
So you're out of construction these days.
Rigby would have a much better chance than Airball did against you. That's for damn sure.
No, he wouldn't.
I'd have you in a blender, man.
You wouldn't have shit in anything,
I don't
man.
know.
1
man.
million, 1 million. Who wants to play?
Are
Fine, give me $1 million. We want to see the match.
you officially retired from real work? Are you done making an honest living?
me and my buddy were joking about that the other day because originally I had my flight booked for Wednesday, and then like I could have actually like flown back today. And I'm just like, oh, imagine me going to get my coffee at the water cooler, like, oh, hey, morning, Nancy. But just like, because I got a lot of love and support from everyone at work and everything, but like, it's just like, oh, hey, Nance, how's it going? Like, I just got my tie on, just clocking in.
Yeah. What are you doing these days?
I'm doing government contract work for like a Navy subcontractor. So
Okay,
supporting-
they sound like some
supporting our
fucking war
military.
dog shit.
Everyone says that they think I'm like an arms dealer. That's not anything like it.
Yeah, you're like a healthy Jonah Hill, you know, running through the fucking desert carrying goddamn grenades and shit. Is that a thing? Is
I
that
got called
not?
Jonah Hill on the stream the other day. We're saying when me and my buddy were 21 Chum Street when I had the bucket hat and the glasses, which was a great look.
Oh, that's amazing.
My favorite photo of the whole tournament's when I'm getting a rub down the rail with that get up on.
I truly believe, listening to you talk about this experience as well as coupled with 2021, I honest to God believe that you have more fun in the moment and like looking back on it than you would if you made the money. Like if somebody said I'll give you 10x what you cashed for, but you bust day one, I think you would turn it down.
I might. Yeah.
I legit think you would turn it down.
It's a great roller coaster. But as I said, like on the stream multiple times, I really hope there's like a pot at the end of the rainbow, right? So
Sure.
like,
Of course.
I
Wait,
mean,
I gotta
that's
tell you.
the leprechaun sign, Gers. We got
all-
to play
it's
the
all about the
leprechaun
signs,
after
right?
this. That's where the actual pot of gold is, at the leprechaun
little
machine.
duty
Let's go
leprechaun.
hit it.
I gotta
Come
tell
on.
you, to win big money in poker, you're gonna have a hell of a lot less fun at the table. So it's gonna be one or the other at this point, man. I mean,
I
I'm
can
all
remain
for you.
stoic. We can hit the stoic. gear when we
I'm
get to
I'm
it.
all for you staying true to yourself and just getting lucky one of these
Look at
days and
that.
fucking sun running it, because I think that would be the best thing that ever happened to anybody. This is the bucket hat.
That's my favorite photo.
That's
yeah.
incredible.
That's great,
What a
yeah.
fucking look.
I got my girlfriend. I got Bobby Knowles. Shout out Bobby on there.
Oh my God,
He wears
Bobby! I haven't
stoic
seen
gear.
Bobby forever.
He rocks a
Bobby's
stoic gear.
rocking the Truly hat, and Dan's got the Truly can there.
Let's
but we are
fucking
high
go,
noon
team.
guys.
Let's go, team.
All right, question. How do you feel about being on the feature table almost every day?
He loves it.
I told everyone it has
in.
its pros and cons.
This
like,
man loves
Yeah.
the shine.
they told me I couldn't have the masseuse. I'm like a little upset. I go get that, but it honestly
You
just
find a way around that
it,
shit.
It like creates moments for me for like I said half my brain is playing the main event, And the other half of my brain is putting on a fucking show for the people. And like I know that, and I kind of just embrace it. And I honestly like thank them. Like, yeah, sure. I mean, you had moneymakers the face of poker for how long? And he beat like a field of 800. I'm sitting there fucking around top 1.5% of 10,000 people. It's really incredible. And in the whole time, like no one has ever in the history of the World Series of Poker has gotten this much coverage. Like,
right.
And I'm fortunate for the most part. Like people, I think really embraced and loved it. You know, you're gonna have your internet trolls and stuff that like, stop.
I mean,
showing
the trolls
this guy.
are like the poker nerds who want you to play their brand and you know
ignore those.
Yeah, give some sort of a shit about equity and EV and stuff like that. But you're just here in the moment, man. You're living life.
We're check jamming Jack 8 of spades.
I'm here for it, bro.
I like that.
That hand was gross.
It was also nice.
I gotta be honest. I was rooting for Toby.
Yeah, we appreciated you doubling
us.
Toby. Very, very close friend of the pod.
And then he goes and folds to the clown.
That one was painful,
Come
man.
on.
That was a painful
Don't do
fold.
that.
The clown.
Don't do that with my chips, Toby.
That was a very painful fold. Toby's still in?
He's got 38 million.
38
pile.
for him.
million?
Very solid player.
How many people were
I
left?
saw him
21.
21 players left, 38 million. He's
Toby,
one of the
come on.
best big field tournament players
He is.
in the game.
Big field
for
Toby.
sure.
He's got to be the favorite.
He's
right
the
now,
goddamn
for sure.
best.
He chopped the first win millions for like just shy of 3 million.
Amo and someone else.
Yeah. Yes.
I forgot who it was.
I don't remember who it was.
That was my first 10K event, actually. I only played 10Ks.
Oh,
I
yeah.
played the 10K out.
Sick life.
Played the 10K win. I satellited in. Played the night before, which I don't suggest. I had a lot of buddies that like tried to satellite into this. I think it's like way too draining, slow play at the end of the night.
Yeah.
And then you got to go play the main the next
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Next day, I went to the Encore beach party and got absolutely bombed.
Bombed.
Hit the blackjack table.
Okay.
You know, won another buy-in and bought in with 8 minutes left.
Let's go.
Beach towel around the shoulders. Rigby's back in the field.
Let's go. But that means you came in shallow. That's not your style.
It's not my style.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to make sacrifices.
You can't be fucking around and finding out when you only got 20 big blinds.
Correct.
You know, you don't get to see a lot of flops that way. You're a flop kind of guy. you know?
PFA.
Post flop advantage
That's right. I'm here for this. I'm here for all of it. So we're gonna see you in December.
for the
Win 10K.
World
10K.
Championship.
Yeah, WPT Championship.
Gotta
I
be
think
out
so.
here
I
for
have
that.
to be, right?
Let's go.
How many
Yeah.
tournaments do you play every year?
One.
Tournaments or
One.
bullets? Like what?
One,
what
the
we
main
got
event.
there?
I mean, honestly, not many tournaments. Like the like casino offerings around the Pittsburgh area for tournaments are real
suck
light.
ass.
Like you might have
Yeah.
one $500
Not very
tournament
much. Yeah.
a year, and then like there's a lot of private tournaments, but they're all like smaller. Smaller like Rex are like $100. Like not to say I won't go blast off 8 bullets and that dicking
Sure.
around.
Did you
but
play any other World Series events while you're out here?
I did, and I thought about playing the Bounty today, and then just kind of decided to take a day off and
Yeah.
kind of just do another little world tour with everyone.
There's a
So-
10K6 max.
Relax, bro. Let the guy breathe. He just had a score. You know, you don't gotta throw him in the toughest fucking field in America.
I'm not worried about that. I'll play.
We know you're
that.
not.
Let's
Rigby.
go.
We know you're not. You know,
What do you mean?
you start with a lot of chips. I get it. Maybe I'll see you out there.
Six-handed. You play every turn. You play every hand.
Look,
Does that start tomorrow?
I don't know.
I think the next day, but maybe it is tomorrow. Fuck, if it's tomorrow, that's gonna be sad.
I
'Cause I'm
want to
not
say
gonna play
it's
it.
tomorrow.
Damn. I'd planned on playing it, but maybe not if it's tomorrow. I got cash to play. Rigby, BD.
I like BD.
It's been
Let's close it out with a little arm lock, pal.
a
There we
fucking
go.
pleasure.
Yeah, let's bring it back full circle.
Oh my god.
I love it.
You're gonna have to come to me here. I think I'm stuck. I think I'm stuck.
Come to me, baby. Come to me, baby. Oh yes.
What the fuck just happened?
Right in front of the
Fucking
Clemente.
love it. All right, Landon, our turn.
Right in,
What would we do without you?
right in front of the Clemente Bridge. Unbelievable.
That was the most Midwestern thing I've ever seen in my
Boys.
life.
Clemente would be proud.
Boys, it's been a pleasure. Please let me know the next time that you two are in town. We're gonna have you back on here for sure. A lot more stories to catch up on. That's gonna do it for us. We're gonna be back again tomorrow in the evening, sweating the final day prior to the final table.
I'm
of
gonna
the
be
WSOP main
drunk
event.
on the rail.
Yeah.
right.
Might
Brian,
all be
I
on
guess
the rail.
I'll be a field reporter again.
Yes.
I'll zoom in from the final table or from the final two tables.
gotta see Toby
you will
win.
indeed. Toby Lewis, hopefully, will still be
That's
in
if
tomorrow.
Toby's doing, which he will be.
We get it,
Who's
Lamanna.
gonna win?
Stop stepping on my outro, would you? Okay, we get it. Toby's gonna still be in tomorrow. Lamanna's gonna be blacked out drunk field reporting. We'll be here 7 p.m. Pacific. That's 10 p.m. East if you're coming from Pittsburgh. That's gonna do it for us. Big shout out to Riggs and BD for joining us today. We thank you guys so much, bringing in that Yinzer energy. We'll be back. We'll see you guys then.
Peace.
Later.